Hi, welcome. I'm Mary and I hook books, and this is going to be my November 2023 wrap up. So, one of the books that I read this month was Queen of the Flowers. So, that is a Phryne Fisher mystery, and I loved the Phryne Fisher show when I saw it on Netflix, and it's just so fun. They're never 5 stars, but they're always at least 3 or 3.5. And she's just so sex positive and fun that I actually enjoy a historical fiction. And it is not my genre at all, but she's a little lady detective. So I think that and how progressive she is and how strong and independent make me actually enjoy this historical fiction. So I made a flower crown. I feel like it's giving Midsommar vibes, but she was the queen of the flowers, so we need a crown. I also listened to the audiobook Orlando People, which was obviously in Orlando, and it's about a alternate universe where something happens and all these kids are born with superpowers, and then some of them are duds, like our main character, and some of them are level fives and can move things with their mind, throw cars at people, etc. And our dud gets involved in a murder mystery. It turns into kind of a buddy cop situation. It's funny, it's got heart. I gave it a 4.5. And Florida alligators. So I made this cute little alligator amigurumi. I also went back to St. Mary's and I read the third Chronicles of St. Mary book, A Second Chance. And I love time travel. I love an older, strong female lead. I love sex positivity. I love humor. So, this book, this series in general, has it all for me. This one leaned very much into the Greeks. That's where they were for most of it. They were watching Troy before and after the fall in the Trojan War. And again, the second chance was much more about their personal relationships, which was kind of fun. I would have given it 5 stars, but there was kind of a deus ex machina. It was set up early on, so it made sense in the story, but the way that it was wrapped up seemed a little bit like a cheat to me. So I only gave it 4.5 or 4.75. 4.75. So it wasn't perfect, but I still love St. Mary's so much. And it's not going to make sense unless you read it, but I made a little cheese wheel because one of the fun things that they do that somehow injures a lot of people is rolling big cheeses. Again, this is just such a fun series. I would recommend picking it up. I also listened to You're Going to Mars, and this was a speculative fiction, near future dystopia that it doesn't seem all that unrealistic if you've ever actually been to New York, but cities have been turned into landfills and people actually live in these landfills and they're called fillers, and they basically recycle things. The landfill cities are run by the mob, and our main character, Paper, her sisters are Rock and Scissors, which is so fun. And she is a filler and she dreams about going to Mars. And what do you know? Her grandma helps her to find the golden ticket, so to speak, and wackiness ensues. It's kind of a reality TV premise, which is pretty neat. And I gave this one 3.5 out of 5. The relationships were fun. It did read a little bit YA, even though the protagonist is 21. But it was a fun, easy read. I didn't really buy the romances, but I guess you gotta throw that in there for some reason, because everyone just seems to want to do it. But because she grew up in a landfill, I made a dumpster fire. This book itself wasn't all that bad. It was not a dumpster fire. Like I said, 3.5. If you like reality TV and some behind the scenes stuff and you're into speculative fiction, it's not a bad way to spend an afternoon. My biggest disappointment this month, I finished reading, I started it in October because it felt very Halloweeny, was the second volume of The Sandman. And I really liked the first one, which is why I bought the second and third volumes. But the second one was just okay, and now I'm really struggling to remember anything about it. It was a short story collection, basically. Some of them were better than others. I always love death and the endless, so that's still a cool concept. But it was really kind of forgettable. The first one was really great, but this one was just okay. It was fun. It was a fun way to spend Halloween, but I won't be raving about it. So I made a little sparkly sandbag like our Sandman carries with him. I read a really great twisty thriller this month from the author of My Lovely Wife, which is what got me into mystery thrillers, called For Your Own Good. And it was really funny when I was talking about this book because I am also a teacher. And I was explaining this fun book about a homicidal teacher that I was reading. Kind of like when I was reading Murder Your Employer at work. Fun times, fun times. So I really enjoyed this. It wasn't a perfect 5 because it wrapped up a little quickly for me, but oh, the twists. The twist, 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 twist. But they didn't seem overly convoluted. Each twist was like, oh, that could happen. So I really enjoy that. And like any teacher, coffee was a big part of this book. So I made this cute little coffee cup. And our main character drinks milk, so I filled my little mini coffee cup with milk in honor of our anti-hero. I guess he's the protagonist, the person that we follow in the book. And like I said, 4.75. I love Samantha Downing. I read Sleeping Dogs Lie, which was a shorter story, and that one was okay, but I loved this one, and I really loved My Lovely Wife. And I am late to the party, but I finally picked up A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and I loved this. This was accurately hyped. Everyone said it was so cozy, and cozy sci-fi isn't really something you see a lot of. I mean, it was quirky, you get that a lot, but the cozy, the found family vibes, again, it's very sex positive, like very integrative, very diverse cast with all the different aliens, and they just love and accept each other for who they are. So I loved this. It was a little bit light on plot, which is kind of normal for a cozy, but it's not something I'm used to in my sci-fi, so that was interesting. But the characters were there. Oh, the characters! I love these characters so much. So that one I gave 4.75. Like I said, the ending was just, it wrapped up a little too quickly, and I'm sure in the sequels, maybe it'll get expanded upon, but that's what kept it from being a perfect 5 star for me. But I understand the hype now. I loved it, and I hope other people will love it. So, in honor of A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I made a small angry planet. I listened to Jitters, a quirky little audiobook by Adele Park, and it is set in Naval, Utah. Naval, like the orange. So I made this cute little bucket hat. It was pretty good. It was funny, quirky. It was a little bit problematic with how they treated the developmentally disabled and used the R word a little bit. But it's an audiobook about a shock jock, so you kind of hopefully you know what you're getting into. Overall, it was really fun. It was a fun little adventure. Like I said, a little bit problematic, so I think I gave it a 3.25. And last but not least, I read Upgrade by Blake Crouch. And this has so much going on, but it was pretty cool. It has family drama, a near future dystopia, it has like police, sci-fi, genetic manipulation. So there was a lot going on, but that's kind of Blake Crouch. A lot of his books read like action movies, and that's one of the reasons they're so popular and they're so readable. And hot take, I liked this one better than Dark Matter. This one I thought was much more original and it drew me more into the characters. I felt like it had more to say. In Dark Matter, I felt like it was just another story in the same vein. I didn't feel like it brought anything new to that trope. So Upgrade I gave a 4.5, and it was very thrilling, twisty, nice, easy to read book. So I recommend it if someone is in a slump or if someone's not a reader but they'd like action movies. And because it's all about DNA, I made a double helix inspired infinity scarf, and the cover is blue. And I actually kind of like how this orange and blue look together. I don't know what season this would be for, but I'm kind of digging the fun, quirky look. So that was my 2023 November crochet and reading wrap up. Overall, a really good month for me. I'm getting back into the groove. Working so much, I was really in a reading and crochet slump. But I'm getting used to the schedule. Things aren't as crazy as they were, and I am making sure to take care of myself. So you make sure that you take care of you as well. Remember, keep your shoulders back, your head up, and breathe.